Juan, welcome to India today. I'm so excited to speak to you. I quickly want to ask you, when was the first time you saw a dragon on screen? When you were a child, when you were growing up? What's your earliest memory? Because I have one.
I mean, I've seen many dragons in the history of the cinema, but I remember that the dragon that impressed me a lot was in The Hobbit. I think that one was kind of amazing for me because it shows like a real character with layers. I really love dragon movies when they show that it's not only a monster, that it has a story, that it has a heart, and that is to me really important, because I think dragon represents many things, but more importantly, when you're making a movie about a dragon, you have to show a real character with layers and depth, and that's why I would mention The Hobbit. I think it was one of the ones that it's completely unforgettable for me.
Absolutely. I mean, while growing up, when you were a kid, was there a film in the genre, fantasy fiction, that perhaps left an impression on you when you were a child? You saw it and you were like, wow, I want to go into this world and I want to live here. And I love what's happening with these characters.
I mean, I've been a fan of the fantasy for, as you said, since I was a kid. But if I have to mention a movie that it was really like a benchmark for me in terms of fantasy, it was a movie that I watched when I was a little bit older, and it was Lord of the Rings. I think Lord of the Rings creates like an amazing kind of storytelling landscape that impressed a full generation of filmmakers, and I would say that I was one of them.
Absolutely. I mean, we are all fanboys of Peter Jackson. I want to ask you, we all know 11 and we've seen Millie, and she's a superstar. She's a global superstar, right? When you have somebody like her in a project, it could either put pressure on you because you have to deliver to a world over audience, or it could be a treat. How did you balance between the two?
I think, making a movie, it's always a pressure because, you have a lot of people and a lot of resources to do a story. So you have a pressure. But the most important thing that I would say about Amelie, that I found a real collaborator on her. She was willing to do anything for this movie. She was kind of accepting the challenge of performing such a physical, character, suffering, jumping, and running, and it was really noticeable that she wanted to show to the world that she is a real actress. And I was so happy and lucky that she accepted this role because I think it's the perfect fit for this movie.
Oh, she's fantastic in it. I think she's just amazing. I also want to ask you, I come from India. We make a lot of movies here, colorful movies, song and dance, folklore, fantasy fiction, right? Have you watched any? Have you visited? Do you have any plans?
I mean, I've never been in your country, but let me tell you that it's in my list to go because I'm a big fan of the philosophy and the spirit of your country, and definitely I would like to visit and really dig into the culture of India. So thank you for mentioning that because it's one of the things that I have to do for sure.
And for somebody who has made 28 days later, do we have scope for Damsel to also have a timeline, perhaps going in the past or going in the future? Is this going to be a franchise? Do we see that happening?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I would love that this turns into a franchise, because I think this universe is so rich and exciting that allows to make more movies about it. Let's see what the audience think, and from there we can decide. But obviously, if the studio wants to make another one, I will be so happy to do it.
And before I leave you, is there a genre? Because you have the work that you have done is so vast, it's so different, all your projects, right? Is there a genre, like, say, for example, romantic comedy or an all out funny film? Is there something that you want to do that you're craving and itching for now that you've done this?
Yes, I would say that I'm so keen to do a romantic thriller. I'm so interested in going into that genre. I think it's something that it's pending in my career, and maybe the next one could be a romantic thriller.
Maybe next time we are having chat about a romantic thriller with a dragon. You never know.
That would be cool. Thank you so
On
much.
that, thank you so much, Juan. Lovely chatting with you. Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Robin, welcome to India today. It's so exciting to speak to you. I quickly want to ask you, do you remember the first time you saw a dragon on a big screen?
This dragon's pretty incredible, right? They did an
Absolutely.
amazing job. And apparently the voice of the dragon is a woman who I get to meet
Yes.
tonight at the premiere. Can't wait.
How exciting is that? But tell me, while growing up, was there a fantasy fiction film or a show that perhaps left a mark on you? Like you watched it and you were like, wow, what is this world? Full of fairies and creatures and mysticism. Is there a film or a show?
Probably when I was young and I read Alice in Wonderland. That was one of the greatest trips.
Oh yes, that road is somebody we've all traveled that road and we absolutely love it. I also want to ask you for somebody who has perhaps done every possible medium, has dabbled in every possible genre. When you finally get to play somebody evil, you get to rub your hands in glee as you watch evil things unfold. Uh, does that feel satisfied? Because as an actor, you always crave for something more and different, right?
Yes, the more evil, the better.
And now that you've dabbled your feet in this, do you feel you want to do more of these kind of characters? Something more sinister, something more gray? Is it fun?
No, not necessarily. Just kind of, it's whatever you feel in your life at the time, when it comes and it resonates with you, and try to shapeshift and do all different things all the time.
Right. I come from India. We make a lot of movies here. Most of them involve song and dance. We also have a lot of folklore stories, fantasy fiction. Have you watched anything ever? Have you been to India? Is that on your mind? Do you travel a lot?
I know I've never seen a movie from your country. I know you guys make how many a year? I think you've broken the record, right? You make like 100,000 films a year. I have been to India. It's beautiful.
Right. For anybody who's watching this right now, and if you had to, this phrase damsel in distress is so often used in life. Oh, she was a damsel in distress. You have children's storybooks and fairy tales use that line, right? But there is no more damsel in distress. I mean, for women out there, for young girls out there, doors are opening. For anybody who does feel like a damsel in distress, what's the one word of advice that you would like to give?
I think Elodie in this movie is sort of a testament to that, which is never give up.
Absolutely. Yes. And how was it working with her? I mean, just the canvas and the sheer fact that there is so much happening in the film, you're absolutely on the edge of your seat. When you got those breaks in between takes, did you guys get to sort of exchange notes or was it like really grueling or you were like back to back working and doing the scenes? Did you guys get to also hang?
We didn't get to hang. It was pretty much back to back, and we were shooting in Portugal in the summer and wearing those costumes and wigs and the crowd. It was very hot. We were trying to cool ourselves off most of the time, so we didn't really get a lot of time to hang out. And Millie was pretty much in every scene. It's her movie.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. As an actor, if I ask you, is there a genre or a role? I mean, you've done so much, right? That you perhaps haven't been offered yet, or you're like, there's that craving that I want to get in under the skin of this character. I want to try something in this space, like perhaps you did in Damsel. Is there anything on the list?
It'd be fun to do a comedy at some point. I've never had the opportunity to laugh very much.
Okay, so let's manifest a comedy. You never know. Next time we might have a chat
Oh,
about a comedy film. On that note, I watched Damsel. I absolutely enjoyed it. I think it also makes for a second watching. It's so much fun. You just get to watch it with your friends, family, have a great time. That's what movies are all about. So thank you for Damsel and thank you for the movies and all the work over the years. Sending you lots and lots of love from India.
thank you so much.